We're recording. Okay, so welcome to my iPad. This is what my iPad looks like. This is how I have my home screen set up. And this is a how I plan my days, weeks, and months. So hello. And we are going to talk about a couple of different things. First is the app that I just clicked on, GoodNotes. And then also we're going to be using our Safari browser, Google Keep, which is here, and as well as Pinterest. So to plan my days, I started this way. So I started with wanting to keep track of my goals that I set for myself in January. And so in January, I set my goals and I listed out different categories that I had goals in, and they were roughly these goals here. And then I assigned each goal a color, and once I assigned each goal a color, then I categorized what I actually wanted to do for that month that pertained to my yearly goals underneath here. So after I did that, I realized that I was listing all this out every month and then not making myself actionable steps to do so. So then I decided that I was going to start putting them in my daily calendar under a color-coded situation. I took my colors that I had picked, added in charcuterie, whimsy, and the podcast, and made myself this right here. Because this really is what I really started with. And so I just wanted to make sure that I had each of these colors in my calendar. So that looked like creating my calendar and keeping kind of a key of the colors that I needed to add. And then scheduling times. So like I had a wedding on this day, and then like knowing the days that I had to work, days that I was recording. I like to keep a track of my zodiac seasons, and so it kind of started like this, really. I created this calendar for myself based off of another calendar that I really liked, and so I made it digital. So that's how I originally started. And then it evolutionized into using the Flourish Planner. I'll put her here. Using her weekly spreads to kind of do more of just like a glance at the week. So I would put what dinner, if I was going to make a post, when I was going to record. Everything that I would put here, I broke down farther here. So then I could also make my top priorities for the week and any work or personal to-dos that I had. And underneath this is actually a habit tracker, which I did not like to use. So I make myself these cutie little like vision boards, and I call it the vibes for the week. And still keeping my key of the colors. And so you can kind of see like every day doesn't have a color specifically that like some days they're more dominant for home colors, like Tuesdays. Those are my days off, so I have a lot of home colors. And then you can see like Wednesdays I focus more on like posting and budgets and things like that. And so each day will have a dominant color, but I try to make my week pretty well reflective of everything that I have to do that week. So that's where this evolutionized to this, and then I would break down my day. And as you can see, this is very chaotic, and I kept my color key up here so that I could remember, keep all my colors focused. You can see that work is obviously blues and greens, and then home is the warmer colors. And just really and truly, you can see like this is very messy and stuff because I had already went through it. And then I would make myself this little vision board for the day. So then that's how I would time block. I would time block like this is when I was working, this is when I had an employee working, this is when I had an appointment, these are appointments. I stretched at work that day instead of doing it my morning routine, my hot girl walk, drive times, my mornings. So I really did just time block my whole day. And while I still use this, I wanted an easier, because I like to do this when I'm needing creativity times. So I used this and turned it into my Google Calendar, which you will see here. So I started posting these on Instagram. I really liked the way that they looked. It helped me keep it on the go on my phone. And so it also allowed me to share it with my mom or my husband or whoever needed to see my calendar and what I had going on so that we could plan things. So my first things I would do if I were you wanting to set up a calendar is pick your categories. These are mine. You may have other ones. You may not care about personal growth. You may not be into working out. You may not have a personal brand, but pick the areas of your life that you want to focus on. And then you can color code those. Once you get them color coded, you can go from there. So the way that I picked my colors was actually here on GoodNotes. And as you can see, like this is the color and this is the hex code, which we'll come back to. And so that's how I did all of my colors, and then I just saved them. But if you're not going to use GoodNotes and you're just going to use Google Calendar, then you can do this a different way as well. So you can go to Pinterest, and we're going to go back here. So you can see color hex codes, and you can just go through and find a color palette that you like that matches your vibe. You see we've got some highlighter colors. If you want, really light or really bright or really neutral, you can pick your colors. There's so many. But these number codes are what you really want to pay attention to. So once you pick your colors, like I said, I picked mine on GoodNotes. So over here, you can see this was the color. Every color has a different hex code. So this was one that I custom made, and this is the hex code for that. So then you can take your colors, make your color palette, break your categories down. Then we can move on to making our Google Calendar. Okay, so now here is the Google Calendar. I like to use the browser version to create my calendars, and then I like to use the app to actually plan my day, and I'll show you that later as well. So as you can see, this is my Google Calendar based on my picture over in the corner. It shows you the month, and I just have picked a random day on a day that I knew I didn't have the full week scheduled. But you can see that I have my reoccurring things that automatically repeat every week or every day. So we're going to show you how to do that. But over here, I have my calendars, and you can check and uncheck the things that you want to see and the things that you don't want to see. So if you know that you work from 10 to 5:30, you don't have to see it, But I kind of like to see how the whole day looks as a whole, and then later on I'll check and uncheck, especially like if I've already done something or I don't want to see, whatever it is. So these are my calendars, and I have my personal growth and wellness, and I have them together on this instead of separately like on GoodNotes. So we're going to pull up our color palette over here and just remember what we've got going on. But I have them put together as one because the color is really similar, and for the most part, they are the same. I use wellness as more of like eating and working out, and then I use personal growth as more like development time. So that is that. I have eclectic grazing, which is charcuterie over here. Let me turn my red pointer. So I have charcuterie over here, and then it's called eclectic grazing here. Relationships is not on my calendar here because I really just make time for those in my off time, which would be in my personal growth time or my fun time. And then I also have 2 eclectic souls. So one I share with the store, and then the other one is mine. So you can see that this one is mine for my reminder, and then anything that I put on the store's calendar will come here on this one, or if I put something here, it will show on the store's calendar. Extra bits is just like my drive times or anything just that really is not a time that I can work on anything. Finance, if I'm going to set time aside to pay bills, or if I want to remember that I have a bill due, it'll show up at the top here. Go away. It'll show up at the top here for me, for my finance. And then I have fun, so that I include my hot girl walks in those because those are fun to me. But also if I have a day planned with friends or whatever, I like to schedule in a little bit of fun. Home is, I put paint. Personal brand is for anything related to my Instagram, like making these videos or doing anything like that. The podcast, if I was going to record. Reminders, which I don't have any on this day, but I have them over here. You can see them here. I have my Clean Mama 5 and just other reminders. I have one to remind me to change the air filters in the house and in the store. And then tasks. So we'll come back to task in a minute. So we're going to uncheck those for right now. And then I have Whimsy as well. I can also see my salon appointments, and I'm going to uncheck those for this video. But normally if I was planning, I know that I had appointments from here to here. I wouldn't schedule anything that I would want to work on while I had appointments, because obviously that would be a conflict of time and interest. So to create a calendar, I like to use the desktop version. So as you can see here, I have my colors picked out over here. And so we're just going to go back over to Google Calendar and click the plus sign and create a new calendar. So we're going to call this demo for this calendar. Okay, and we're just going to create the calendar. You can do all kinds of things with this calendar. You can make it public, you can share it, you can do whatever. I don't use a whole lot of this actually at all. Mainly, I just create the calendar, name it what I want to do, my area, and then over here, we're going to click this 3 little dots here. Click the plus sign under the color, and this is where your hex codes come into play. So over here, you can see that I have, can we turn off my pointer? I guess not. Anyway, you can see that I have these. So we're going to go back to Pinterest, pick out a hex code. I'm going to go and choose this one. Oh yeah, see, okay, so this one already has the hex codes in the description. So I'm going to copy and paste this hex code and switch back over to Google and just paste that. And then you can see that the demo is the color that we want. So record video. And so that's the color that we wanted it to be. And we don't need this anymore because we've chosen our color, we've named our categories, and now we are creating our calendar. So for reoccurring things, I like to set my morning routine to every day. My drive time, obviously, I don't work on Tuesday, so my drive time is different for those days. And tomorrow I have it blank because I'm going to schedule that in the morning. But my reoccurring things, you can see, go every day. So, to make a task is super easy. You're just going to go up to create an event, and you're going to pick which category you have something you need to do with. And so if it is work, we're going to pick work, and we're going to pick work again. How many times can I say work? And then we're going to choose the time. I work from 10 to 5:30. And we're going to do June the 3rd. And so then it adds that to our calendar. So, I like to use the desktop version to create the calendar, which I've already said once. But also because it is all right here. So, I also use the Google Keep, which I'll show, and the Google Task. And I like that they're right here, so when I'm creating or building my calendar, I can put things over here that I need to remember to do. On a daily basis, though, I do use my Google Calendar app. But you cannot create your calendars or customize the colors in the app. You have to do that on the desktop version. So once you've got your calendar set and your colors picked, then you can switch to the Google Calendar app. So we're going to go to the Google Calendar app. And as you can see, this is a day that I've shown on my Instagram before. Each day has the little dots, so you can see what like the colors are going on for those days. But you can turn that off, so you just have your full day. And I like to do this on my phone, but obviously for this video, I'm showing it on my iPad. So over here, I have two different Google accounts, one for the store, one for myself. It shows all your calendars, and it shows what you've got checked or unchecked. So we're going to turn off those. So these are my calendars that you just seen, and you can see our demo calendar. And I thought I turned gloss back off. Okay, so these are my days. And so I like to use this to plan my actual days. My reoccurring tasks are there, my morning routine, my drive time, my wake up, my night routine, my work. Then I can take my day and plan things. So like if I know I need to be working on open house, then I'm going to plan that from 10 to whatever time, almost 2. And then if I'm going to run through podcast episodes right after that, you can move it around. And then I'm going to do my financial health check at the same time. You know, you can move them around. I like to squeeze in a walk. Then I went charcuterie shopping this day. And you can see my black items are my tasks, and they're marked through because I completed them. So you can see, like, I like to just make notes of things that I want to do and set kind of time blocking times for them. So like we watch Harry Potter with Cody, and this is not absolutely something that you have to put on your calendar, but like I like to know kind of what the plan is and make sure that I'm making time for everything. So the majority of my middle of my day is blues and greens because that's work, it's money, it's personal brand, it's podcast. Then the mornings and evenings are more oranges and pinks because that's my personal routine. I usually do a check-in with Mom with Whimsy. I will work on charcuterie stuff outside of my actual work time. And it really helps me keep all of my tasks in order. Make sure that I have everything planned out and time accounted for each one. As you can see on this day, it has my water bill, which is financial. All day tasks you can do And you really, what just decides where things go is how you pick it. So if you want it to repeat, you can click more option and choose your repeating options, everyday or custom, whatever. If you want it to be all day and it's just kind of more of just a reminder type thing, then you can make it be all day and it puts it at the top of your calendar. You can see behind this little box here. And then you can choose your category, your color, obviously. And then there's so many more things. So, like, if you have something, you're going somewhere, you can add your location or drive time. It'll tell you, like, how long it takes to get there. If you have people that you're doing it with, you can add your guests. And that's essentially it. So, we're going to create here a demo task for this time, and you can see, like, I can move that around to be wherever I want it to be, and that's kind of how you get your overlapping. So, as you can see, I have my task in black, which we've already talked about. I've already mentioned a couple of times. The task in black, you can create your task here. I just have it assigned as black. You can assign it to whatever color you want it. I like black because it puts it to bolder so I can remember it and see it. You can add details, be specific about what the task actually is. You can add your task to your list. But the Google Task app shows you all of your tasks that you have. So you can also go in here and make all your tasks and schedule them, and it will put it on your calendar if you pick a day. And things like that. So like this one I have reoccurring, it shows it on Monday every 2 weeks. Or my Clean Wall Bathrooms is on Monday every Monday. So you can kind of see, and then these were all that didn't have, or that had a time frame but didn't get marked off. So I could mark that off. And that's the Google Task. It's kind of like a reminders app. I like it because it's pretty simple. But I really don't use my Google Calendar here as a to-do list. It's more of just a time blocking. So what I like to do is then take this, I'm going to take this open house planning block. And I'm going to go to my Google Keep list here. And I'm going to title my open house. And then I'm going to use this note here to put my to-do list for everything that I need to get done. Everything that I need to get done in this open house planning block. And this is my Google Keep. These are my lists. I like to kind of match the colors as close as I can to the my planner colors, but I haven't figured out a way to customize these colors yet. Google, if you know how, please tell me. But I have my pinned list up here. So on my today list, I would put down everything that I needed to get done in that day, and then I can go through and, like, if I know that I have an open house planning block, I will put go to planning block list. And I didn't spell any of that right. But then I can go to that list and then mark off what I need to get done there. And then I'll make a today list and then a tomorrow list just as throughout the day, and I keep up with it. I also keep a running meal list for what I've purchased groceries for my time frame. So these are all the options that we could have for dinner, and these are the options that we've already marked off. And then I also keep a running grocery list of whatever I want, and then say we run out of Velveeta cheese, I can add it back to the list and check it back off. And then I keep a running list of just meals in general, separated by the type of food that it is, really. So when I know that I have ground beef, I can come to this and make lazy lasagna and check it off. I also just keep really random lists, like video ideas, Halloween movies that I'm trying to watch, home things that I need, I have a Whimsy list and an Eclectic Soul list. So Whimsy's pink and Hannah for Eclectic Soul is this like green list. And those are my tasks for Whimsy and Hannah. And if I had a charcuterie board order list, I would put that here as well. I keep a podcast idea list here, just running lists. I like to keep lists of things so I don't forget them and I get to write them down. And then I can come back to them and be like, oh yeah, I forgot to do that. So, while I use my calendar to plan my day, I don't use it as a to-do list. Well, I do put the important things that I have to get done. So I kind of put like a top 5 maybe of tasks that I need to get done, like plan my day here. I had to do the dishes that day. You want to really make sure that you do that. Go that way. I always like to put my dinner, what I'm going to make, so I can check that off. And then just my top 3 things that I have to get done. Really my top 5. So I don't actually use this as a running to-do list. Now, things like squeezing a walk and charcuterie shopping, those are things that I have to get done that I would put on this list, but would not put as a task because it's more of like a block of time that I just need to stick to. It's more of like a schedule. I really don't know if any of this is making sense. But this is how I do it. I am pretty ADD. I have a hard time remembering things and keeping up. So using these 3 apps really helps. And I'm going to show you a screen of my phone so that you can see like how I keep it. So like you can see here on the iPad, it tells me like what's happening and what's next. And then, of course, I can click on it and see what the day is like. Here, I did not plan today. But, yeah, that's basically it for how I plan my days. It's really not complicated. It's pretty easy. But it's specific to me. So, I'm going to put the action steps here for you to screenshot. And you can screenshot them here so that you know where to start, kind of like a list for you to check off yourself. And then tag me on Instagram if you do your planner like this. I will have everything that I use linked, including the apps and the products, and I'll even put my hex codes in the description if you like my color palette. But if you want to choose your own, obviously you can go to Pinterest. That's how I plan my days, weeks, and months. And if you have any questions, please comment on below.